Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Luke.
I'm Ainsley.
And we are
Scream Queenie.
So we are coming at you once again from La Casa de Smith. And we are going to be visiting a comic book again. It's been a little while since we've done one. The last one was The Nice House on the Lake. And we are still waiting. That's going to be a 12-issue series, so we're waiting to get to the 6th one, and then we'll be finishing. We'll do that part of it, and then we'll do the last 6 over the like 6 months after that or something. So, anyways, today we're going to be doing a comic book called The Me You Love in the Dark. Yes, it is. The writer is SKOTTIE YOUNG. And SKOTTIE YOUNG is really known more for his artwork. He does very, very cartoony, superhero covers for a lot of superhero magazines, and they have like funny sayings on the front of them. So he does like what they call variant covers for comic books a lot. He's a really, really good artist, but he has a certain kind of style. And SKOTTIE YOUNG variants or something, they're kind of hit or miss, I think, for stuff, but they are popular in what they call the flipping community, which means you would buy a bunch of them and then sell them for like more than what you paid for them. Jorge Corona does the art, and he did the cover, the wonderful cover there. John Francois Boulave, I think, that did the colors. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And Nate Picos of Blambot lettering did the lettering. Would you like to talk about the story a little bit?
The story is about a woman named Rose Meadows who's an artist, and she feels uninspired, so she finds this spooky Victorian sort of house to rent to try to find inspiration from. After a few weeks of living there, she starts hearing a voice, which she's calling a ghost or not, we don't know yet. She's kind of making friends with the ghost, I guess.
SKOTTIE YOUNG, like I said, is really known more for his artwork. And so this, for me, this is one of the first exposures to a story he has written that I've been exposed to. I do enjoy the artwork that Mr. Corona did in this. I think it's really, really good. It sets a mood. You were pointing out before we started filming that the almost like kind of like piano keys, like wispy piano keys or something through the air as Ro was going through the house and doing things.
It kind of follows her around. I think that she can't see it, but Lucas brought up the point that
I don't think she can see it. I think she can feel it.
That she could feel the vibe of it.
Because there's numerous times in the book where she is, she'll say something like, somebody there or something, and then finally at the end, she gets a response back.
Right.
So, and you don't really get much else as far as what that means or what we're going to get from that. So hopefully in future issues we will get some of that. I'm wanting to say this is supposed to be a 6-issue series, 5 or 6 issues, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think that's correct. It's supposed to be 5 or 6 issues. I don't know. I mean, I almost get the feeling that maybe there's something a little more sinister going on. Maybe we just don't know.
It all seems very friendly at the moment.
Yeah. And when you're messing with the spirit world, as we know, as horror fans, and as a believer in the spirit world in real life, you have to be very careful when dealing with those kind of things, I feel like, because things aren't always as they seem. Now, whether this winds up being she's having some kind of hallucination, or which I don't know if it is or not. I mean, the way that
she has been isolated for weeks, and that can do some stuff to your psyche.
Because it was weeks and weeks and weeks after she got into the house. But from the minute she got into the house, it almost seemed like she kind of felt like that there was a bit of a presence. And then she gets very frustrated because, you know, she'll try to paint something or do something and she doesn't like what it is, or she feels like it's very uninspired.
She throws a wine glass at one point.
Yeah. But I like the book. I don't know what it is right now or where it's going.
It's very
vague,
minimal information at this point.
It's very vague, and I feel like that I feel like there are layers we're going to be going through it at some point in this, as to like maybe there's some kind of trauma on her part, you know, or something that she feels like she has to isolate sometimes, or whatever else.
See, I almost feel like, since we can see the presence in the artwork, I almost feel that, like, my guess would be that it is real, that it's not just her imagination.
Unless the artwork is for us to see what she's feeling. But you see what I'm saying? That's why we don't know what the...
We don't know, but that's just my vote.
I tend to agree with that, but then at the same time, we don't really get a definitive answer. That's what I'm saying.
We don't.
And so, at this point, and the name of the book is The Me You Love in the Dark. And so, I mean, is she going to fall in love with this, you know, supernatural being? Thought it was an interesting first book. Interested to see what happens as it goes along. Let's see, the art was amazing. Felt like the colors were really good in it. Thought it sent a good mood. The colors were dark where they needed to be at. I felt like they did a really good job of conveying Rose's feelings through the artwork, which, you know, that to me, that has to be a hard thing to do. Art, an art medium, and I like to draw and do stuff, but I'm definitely not on the level that like these people are doing stuff on, and being able to communicate yourself in that way.
Something else that you had pointed out was that there are more pictures than words in this.
Well, because she's isolated, right? So that's probably the way that there's no voices going on. And I'm wondering if, as a reader, sometimes that may feel kind of awkward.
It does to me, because I'm a big reader, not a big comic book reader. In fact, I don't think I'd ever read a comic until I met you.
You're welcome.
So that is a lie, though. The Archie comics, I would read those when I was little.
Nice.
Thank you.
But yes, so as a reader, all right, you feel uncomfortable, right? Because you need sound, you need words for you to say in your head and everything, and you don't get any of that. So maybe that's them communicating to you what she's feeling, being alone in the house.
It's communication through art, which is something that I'm having to get used to in the comic world.
Yeah, comics are not just an internal auditory thing, which is what you get from reading, right? But it's also a visual art. So it's kind of like getting a TV show or something like that, except you're using your own internal voices, like for what's going on, which is what you would do in a book. And instead of using that imagination portion to look at the things, you're actually getting to feel kind of from the pictures, I guess. So, but I did...
It takes more interpretation skills, I'll say that, than I'm used to flexing, I guess, when I read.
All right, so I think I'm going to give this one 3 screens for right now, because I don't know where it's going right now. It could be really not good. It could be maybe one of my favorite books of all time, as far as I'm concerned right now. But I'm going to hold off on for future issues to see where the story is going, because I try to stay reserved on first issues of things because I get burned on stuff a lot when it comes to comics. I've said this before, I'll be in the middle of a really good comic book storyline that I think is really, really good, and then it winds up being
shite.
I wouldn't call it that. It's just not what I expected. And so I try not to fanfic in my mind about stuff. As we wrestling fans call it, fantasy booking is what we would call it. And then things don't come true on what we're thinking, and then you get disappointed because you're fantasy.
Not as you hoped.
Yeah. So I would rather it be what it is and me not get too excited or think that this is maybe as good as I think it can be at this point. So, what kind of rating are you going to give it on the screen counter?
I would give it a 4.5.
Wow, you really, really liked it, huh?
Wait, 3.5.
Out of 5.
I don't count so good.
Once again, if there's any comics or any books or any short stories or any short films or any, if you have a short horror film that you've made yourself, like an indie film or something like that, and you want to send it to us, we'll definitely watch it and give you an honest take on it. I mean, like.
Well, that's gonna be rough.
Why?
Because what if we have to say, sorry, your film kind of sucked?
That's what we do.
I know, but I don't like hurting people's feelings.
At the end of this, I would say definitely check the book out if you got some free time on it. And it doesn't take very long to read because there's not a lot of words in it. And I think it's setting up something that could be, like I said, really, really good. We just have to wait it out, which is what you have to do with comic books sometimes. Obviously, it was picked up for whatever the 5 or 6 issues, so they saw some kind of promise in it, and they're building towards something. Whether we like what that is or not, I do not know. But we have had a lot of fun talking to you about this book today. As always, if you will do the things that we always ask you to do, Ainsley,
like, subscribe, and one other thing that I'm forgetting. Share us. Share us with your friends
and your enemies. We always say that too.
And your enemies.
We'll take your enemies' likes and your enemies' business, and have your enemies send us their movies, and then you send us a private message, and you're like, "Hey, say that movie sucks." No, I'm just messing. We wouldn't do that. For less than
we have ethics.
For less than $10,000. Right? All right. I mean, everybody's got a price.
And that's ours.
For that. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm Luke.
I'm Ainsley.
And we have been
Scream Queenie.
Peace.
Bye.